I'm doing a quick video on how to sand your primer and guide coat after your body work, because there's a request for this. One of the people sent me a message about it. Now I'm going to show you all you need to do this. Really is this stuff here. You're going to have a mixing board. Now I just use cardboard because, well, you know, I started out using it and all. You know, they say you should use plastic, non-porous, like it absorbs through the filler, but like me, cardboard's I'm using cardboard anyway too, because that's a pretty easy to get a hold of source at a house. Yeah. I got some Evercoat Metal Glaze. It's putty. It's for filling in the low areas. Sand block with some 150 grit on it, fresh. Some masking tape and a marker. I'll show you what they're for. One important thing is the dust mask. Now, get you onto this. I'm going to show you exactly what you got to do. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to start sanding it. What I got to do is, because there's filler here, I'm trying to remember, I actually got to shape it to this line again. And I'll show you the trick that I was taught, how to do it. So, we're going to use 150 grit on a block like this. We're going to sand an X pattern across, shaping with metal. Good metal. If you don't know what that means, it means from the area where there was no body work to the area there was no body work. So, across. One thing you want to wear too is your dust mask. Let's start sanding. And as you can see, as I start sanding, the guide coat's showing me where it's low and where it's not. As we're showing you, from good metal to good metal, you want to sand it until you just see the little black spots that you can see here is the guide coat. You want to flap out your sandpaper too to get all the crap out of it. Because the dust could clog up in it and then dig into the surface and make it way worse. You want to do long angular strokes across the panel. Until you find where your areas need to be worked at. Now if you have trouble shaping body lines, what you can do is, the trick I was taught, just get a piece of masking, wipe that off. Use yourself a piece of masking tape. I wouldn't, since it's a thin line, if it's a little bit thinner, use the fine line tape. It also lets you, this shit's expensive. Put a piece across it. Like that. Or just bigger piece of tape. Like that. And what you're doing is you're shaping your work towards the line. Now what I like to do is I like to use just a Sharpie marker, because you're not wasting, you're not using up any material. I've worked shop work, masking tape was the holy grail, or the, forbidden fruit, whatever the fuck you want to call it. So you use a marker. It doesn't have to be the straightest line, but it has to be where your line is. So that's my line right there. I gotta sand towards this, up towards it. You can probably leave a little bit of room in between there, and then once you're done, maybe get some fine sandpaper and wipe across it and round it off. I was trying to sharpen it up to that shape. So, just one good tip. Get back to sanding it. As you can see, this is what the guide coat does. It guides you to where the areas are low, where it's high, and where it needs work. So. bodywork popping out through here. So what I actually have to do is probably level it out and make it look straight. Give your panel a quick feel beyond the area. Like you can feel here that this is still low. Needs more work done to it. This is still a little lumpy feeling. Like you can see metal poking through. So what I'll do is I'll take my body hammer, tap this in, just like some light taps, knock them in, and then give it a coat of glaze, and I'll show you. Alright, so now I'm going to actually tap down these areas where the metal's still a little high. Like you can actually feel it. You can feel them upward out of there. Take your hammer, take the pick end. You don't want to hit it with this end because there's filler on here. This filler loosen up too, besides moisture moving through it, all that other shit. Vibrations. You don't want it to vibrate too much. You hit it with this, it's traveling through all of it. You hit it with this, it's a little bit smaller. Tap those areas in, like give it a feel. When they feel sunk down, like you don't really feel the metal anymore. That's when you go back and fill it. Still feel this one up here. I'm gonna rough this up a little bit because I'm sanding with 150. It's kind of polishing the metal. It won't be too much for the shit to grip. So I got an old piece of 80, use 100 maybe. I'm just scratching it up so it's something for it to bite to. Like, I don't want to say on my fingers, but just something for the metal to bite onto. Or for the filler to bite onto, I mean. A little bit of 80. Wipe that down with like a damp rag. Blow it off, whatever you gotta do. Now, mix up the glazing putty. You don't know what I'm using Evercoat Metalworks, metal glaze. Beautiful stuff right here. And make sure your mixing board is clean of any kind of dirt. I'm mixing it on the ground. I'll get enough out that you need. Say about that much is all I need. And your hardener, let the air out of your hardener, and then knead it, because what happens is the shit can actually separate in it. So it's like, kneading dough or whatever you want to do it. I think I told you this in the last video anyway. Knead that up, make sure everything's mixed together, and put like a little bit with it. You don't want to over harden it because it'll make it brittle, flake off if you put too little. It'll take too long to harden, it'll be a gummy surface, and you don't want that. So about that much is good. And mix it up with the little applicator. And if you don't know how to mix filler, I showed you in my other, hammer and dollar video how to mix fillers the same way. Mix this up. I kind of like using this stuff for small jobs. I wouldn't use it to fill in bad feather edge chips, or because some guys actually call spot putty liquid feather edge. For the dudes that don't know how to do it, they'll just fill something in instead of trying to sand it out. I won't do that. I only use spot putty or glazing putty, whatever you want to call it, when you need it. So now it's all mixed up. Put where we need it. Set it on just like Bondo. On a light layer. Now after you put glaze on, you wanna you're gonna have to re-prime it anyway. Shoot it with a sealer. I have sealer, I just don't have it with me right now. I'm gonna show you.